Hello everyone, I'm Danish Khan from ETTelecom and we have Adarsh Nair, Chief Product Officer of Bharti Airtel, and he's going to shed more details about Bharti Airtel's product strategy, innovations and the new technologies which are powering innovation at Bharti Airtel. So Adarsh, my first question to you is, how do you see the Indian telecom industry? How do you see the whole journey of product innovation, and why it is important for a telco to stay ahead of rivals in the market? If you could just give your perspective.
No, thanks so much, Danish. I think the Indian telecom industry is becoming a very vibrant ecosystem, right? I think starting with probably 4 years ago, when Jio also entered the market and started driving this penetration of data. I think that began a whole revolution where now digital services in India started penetrating, and the role of the telco, very interestingly, was a dominant role. Unlike in some other markets where they were the connectivity layer and other OTT services capitalized on adding value to users and businesses. In India, the ecosystem again is vibrant because I think telcos are taking a substantial charge in terms of how do you drive innovation on top of the connectivity pipes for both consumers and businesses. So that's, I think, the high level point. And because now the digital talent infusion into the telcos in India, which by the way is not a common trend everywhere in the world. Telcos are known for network talent, good marketing talent, but digital talent, product talent, and engineering talent is not a known quotient in telcos all over the world. Here, that additional capability coming into the company has definitely created an opportunity for us to innovate across a wide array of fields. You think about leveraging technologies like AI, ML, leveraging technologies like blockchain. All these are tools that the digital team brings, and now in partnership with the network teams, they're able to create magnificent products. And we'll talk about some of that today.
Right. If you could just maybe deep dive into those technologies which are actually leading the product innovation for Bharti Airtel.
Yeah. So, Danish, maybe the lens I'll take is, let me first tell you about the business opportunity, because I think everything starts with the consumer and the customer, and then you work back, right? So let me tell you about the business opportunities that is in front of the telco. And then maybe we can talk about how do you capture these business opportunities using various technologies. So when I think about Airtel, and I'm going to be specific about Airtel because every telco can take their own path. For Airtel, if you look at the core business that we run, we've got a fantastic DTH business, we've got a mobility business, broadband business, and also a huge connectivity business in B2B, which is the largest B2B business in India. This core is allowing us to build some significant capabilities. For example, imagine all these businesses have to collect payments. So why should you build payments again and again? Build payments as a platform. And when you look at the amount of money playing through these platforms inside Airtel, just the pay platform inside Airtel, it's a big data scale. Think about all the information required to run these core businesses. We have to basically make sure that when you call our call centers, we have to make sure that our agent knows you. Our agent makes sure that your problems are already in the dashboard. So without much help from you, we can tell you, okay, this is a problem you're facing, here's a solution, right? So a lot of capability being built on the data side, on the intelligence side to help our customers. That data becomes very powerful to help you in doing additional interactions. That could be new businesses, data as a platform. Our network itself, we can make it a platform. Today, if you want to buy a SIM, a business wants to buy a SIM, they have to pick up a phone, make an order, right? And then the SIM gets sent to you. What if we can convert the whole thing to digital? One API call and you can secure a number and you can make a connection. Network as a service, right? And finally comes distribution. If we can sell many products, why can't we sell our partners' products? All these are becoming capabilities that is coming out of the core business, which allows us to think about a very interesting challenge. Can we build new businesses that is at the edge of these capabilities? And this is where the business opportunity comes in for the telco, where outside of the core businesses, we believe entertainment is a very huge area for us to win on the consumer side. Advertising technologies is a very big win for us on the business side. When you think about Airtel IQ, which is a communications cloud suite, it's called CPaaS, which is a very popular term in the business industry now. CPaaS is a huge opportunity for the telco. Why? It rides on the same calls, SMS, video network. That's where you build the CPaaS, right? Security. For the telco, security is one of the number one focus areas. And if we can do that well for us, why can we not help other firms build out fantastic security layers for their businesses? Cloud. We need a cloud. And because of the regulations, we need a private cloud, we need a hybrid cloud. How about taking the same capability, giving it to banks in partnership with the hyperscalers like Amazon, Microsoft, etc.? All these are opportunities that the telco is now being faced with. And now let me kind of break it down for you. How is digital evolving and helping the telcos rise? Let's take an example in entertainment. When you think about music and video, everything is getting personalized today. Danish, based on your music tastes, we want to feed you more music that you like. And there are many systems and technologies that can be leveraged to do that. One of which is AI and ML, artificial intelligence and machine learning, right? And a simple example of a machine learning is a recommender system. Danish is a user of Wink. There are 50,000 users who are like Danish. They listen to certain type of music. Therefore, we can, basis their taste, recommend music to you. And that is one way to build a recommendation engine using machine learning. We do that today in Wink. And today, when you open the app, a lot of the music that you see is personalized. Second, in India, we have a huge problem in music. Today, the information required to tell Danish, okay, Danish loves, let's say, soft music. For me to find soft music is very hard because it's not cataloged properly in India. Then, can we listen to the music, the waveform, identify the mood? Is it a mood where there is passion and beats? Is it a mood that is more soulful? And that technology, which is machine learning again, to extract that mood, can we use that to give more music that Danish likes? These are the innovations in AI ML on the music side. Now, let me flip the bit to the core business of our network. Danish, you know the problem today. India is a very, very large country. Yet our ARPUs are the lowest in the world. Imagine if you want to deploy networks in the widest and the farthest places of India and still be profitable, because if the telco is not profitable, then we can't survive. How do you do that? Again, AI and ML has a very big role to play. So today inside Airtel, there are data scientists who are analyzing images from satellites, looking at vegetation, building, density, and using computer vision technologies to identify where should we put that tower in the remotest parts of India so that that tower can best serve the customers around that area. That is a huge initiative that started last year, and it is really making Airtel one of the most efficient telcos in network deployment, allowing us to do more for the country with minimum investment. So that's another great example of what networks can do. Let me tell you about the third one. And this one is especially important. As you know, for any big telco, customer experience is the number one priority. Now, a large part of customer experience in India is the agents who serve our customers. And we have 7,000 agents who are serving our customers, right? How do you make sure all of our agents are doing a great job helping our customers? So there is something called traditional audio mining. You listen to a few agent calls and say, is the agent respectfully talking to our customers? Is the agent not keeping the customer on hold for too long? But the problem is, how many people will be required to analyze roughly 7 to 10 million calls that we get every month? That's a lot of calls. No way that one human being or even an army of human beings can understand what every agent is saying. Here comes speech recognition technologies. Technologies that can analyze the agent's talk track and detect emotion. Are you angry or are you at peace? The ability for the agent to hold the conversation properly versus putting the customer on hold. All these can be detected at scale using speech recognition technologies. Inside Airtel, we now have a speech recognition technology running on every agent, giving feedback back to the managers saying which agent is performing well and which agent needs some help to improve. These are all great ways by which technology is making our core and our new businesses better. So let me pause there and see if you have any questions.
Sure. So is Airtel's XLab leading the innovation bit for the telecom operator, or you have standalone teams maybe placed in Manesar office or Gurgaon office? How do you divide those teams? Which team is working on which technology, and what is the role of Airtel XLabs in the whole larger scheme of affairs?
That's a great question. So see, Airtel X Labs is another way to refer to the engineering and data talent within Airtel Digital. So Airtel Digital is the larger entity that is hosting all of our tech innovations on the digital side, inside which there is a group of engineering talent and data talent, which we refer to as Airtel X Labs, right? But there's operations talent, business talent, all those other talent also in Airtel Digital. Now, the larger question of how do we innovate? See, we have a term inside Airtel called One Airtel. So when we innovate, there is no X Labs, Airtel Digital Network Marketing. We are one unit that looks at the price and say, to get that price, how do we work together to win? And the masterpiece here, Danish, is the intermixing of the network talent and the digital talent, because these are both high-tech areas. For example, in the network talent, 5G is coming. That's a very, very big part of our future. And that is entirely held by the network talent. How does the digital talent leverage the 5G bandwidth, leverage the 5G technology, the beamforming technology? How do we leverage it to build new products that can make more value to the consumers? Think cloud gaming, think AR, VR on your phones. All that's possible because the digital talent is working with the network talent. So that is how Airtel works together, cross-functional teams,
Sure.
which has a prize in mind, and we work towards to deliver.
Sure, sure. You touched upon 5G technology, which is going to be the future for the telecom industry, and Airtel being the main telco, obviously is betting big on the technology. So, have you already started innovating, keeping 5G in mind, or certain products that are being developed, seeing that the moment you switch on your 5G network, you would require those innovation, you would require those applications, so that consumers would have better experience, not just better experience, but better applications to use the high speed bandwidth. So what is that product journey for 5G so far?
So see, the beautiful part about 5G is a lot of the things that we are doing every day will get better with 5G. That is number one, right? So I think if you look at, again, going back to smart investments, the number one thing any telco should do, let alone Airtel, is get 5G done correctly. Your speeds are expected to go 3 to 10x depending on where things land, right? Imagine the power of video on your smartphone. Imagine the power of gaming on your smartphone. All these scenarios will naturally benefit because of the speed boost, right? And gaming is going to also benefit because of the latency boost. A lot of the young gamers in India are going to love gaming, AAA gaming on their phones, because now your ability to go shoot at precision accuracy is going to get better because of the 5G technology. So that is the bare minimum. We must get that right. Then comes the question that you asked, which is, what about additional use cases that is going to emerge? See, I believe the impact of 5G on B2B, which is businesses, is going to be pretty revolutionary. And the kind of use cases that is coming is industrial IoT. Places where you require a lot of human beings to go monitor equipment, keep analyzing their quality, even in remote parts of India, right? How do you use 5G now to bring IoT technologies to basically reduce cost, increase efficiency, and run your machines properly? That is going to be a huge area of innovation. IoT has applications in farming, and India is a country that is still very agrarian. So how do you basically now give new technologies to farmers to make their crops better? IoT technologies around weather that tells you what is the right time to water versus not, right? Crop quality. All these are actually, I think, the next set of innovation that I expect to see in India when 5G lands, which is on B2B. Finally, I'll come back to B2C, which is consumer. There are going to be new innovation in consumer that's going to be very exciting. And the biggest one, I think, is the use of AR, artificial reality and mixed reality, through our phones. Consumers are going to start seeing remarkable experiences land on their phones in AR and VR, in shopping, in gaming, and even in general experiences that they are used to seeing on their phones. All of this is going to get better because of 5G. So that's the way I see the innovation roadmap on 5G.
Sure. So is Airtel just focused on software innovation, or are you also looking at device level innovation? What sort of device Airtel and consumers would be requiring when 5G comes? Not just on the handset front, but IoT, as you mentioned, and the AR and VR and other stuff as well. So is your whole strategy comprises or include device innovation as well?
Yeah. So I think that's a brilliant question. And I believe device innovation and software innovation goes hand in hand. And especially for a telco, I think there is no other way about it, because without the phone, the network doesn't count, right? Or you can take any hardware. Without a mesh network in a large home, broadband doesn't count, right? Airtel has also got a very strong partnership lens on things, right? So there are some things we will do ourselves. There are some things we will leave it to our excellent partners who has always delivered for us. On the devices side, is there a device strategy to complement 5G? Absolutely, yes. It is required, because without that device, then the fulfillment of the technology is not done. We will take a strong partnership lens on how we do the devices. So the specs, what is needed in the market, will be co-partners. The people who are going to go build it probably are expert companies and devices who's going to go build it. And that is going to be GTM'd through our Airtel channels. Essentially, our consumers are definitely going to benefit. And we're going to be smart about the partners who's already innovative, who's going to take charge of devices, and we'll take charge of the network and software. And together we'll win for the customers.
Sure. But on the network front, Airtel did some innovation when it comes to small cells using the virtualized RAN technology and Open RAN technology. But now the telco is also betting big on Open RAN to come up with the own indigenous solutions. So have you kicked off, started the journey on the devices front for network, or is it something where Airtel is still contemplating over it and only time will tell what Airtel comes up with?
Danish, this one I'm going to let Ashu connect you to Randeep because he's the master of this area.
Sure.
I think he's the right person to answer the question.
Right.
You already saw the announcement we made with the Tatas also. So there's a lot of great partnerships coming, and parts where Airtel is the right people to kind of go innovate, we will. Otherwise, it's going to be the partners. But we'll make sure you talk to Randeep. So that gives you this.
So my next question is on the insourcing of product development. A few years back, Airtel was working mainly with the partners, third-party partners, to build product and solutions. Now you are building capabilities in-house. You're hiring engineers. You are hiring talent from various industries. Silicon Valley, for instance, we reported recently. How has that helped or impacted your whole product innovation journey? Is it also showing some positive results, or how it is helping define what Airtel intends to do in incoming quarters or years?
Danish, that's a fantastic question. So let me first tell you the results, and then let me tell you how that's going. So the digital team at Airtel comprises of a lot of components. I would even think the network team is in many ways a digital team, right? Network team existed. We had a great engineering team that was here. And with my entry, what we have done is we have now added a product layer and a growth layer to these teams, right? And if you look at the valley, most of your young startups typically are engineering product growth. They work together and they innovate. A lot of the best products in the world are created that way. Those same engines are right now firing inside Airtel. You open up Airtel, you're going to see 100 startups. That's what you're going to see, because every team is a unit working on a product, a business, an idea, right? So let me tell you what has happened because of the last 3 years. If you look at Airtel as a company, our digital footprint when 3 years ago would have been in the few tens of millions, right? Early, probably 15, 16 million. Today, that has touched 200 million digital footprint. So that's one result of this team working hard. Our online acquisition was close to zero. Today, 40% of our total business is coming online. And not just in B2C, in B2B also. This online acquisition has become a big part. Payments. The percentage of people who has been paying through us today is now not just through us, our own systems. Of course, we've got our partners collecting payments too, is now northwards of 15% and growing higher. Every day, there's a growth team that is taking that number higher. Think about our workforce. 40,000 people in Airtel is on the ground every day, helping you install a network, coming to your house, putting a broadband, whatever it is, right? These 40,000 people are now running on one app. It's called Airtel Work. That coordinates every single action. Think about the efficiency we are driving. The app tells them where to go. The app tells them what action to take. Otherwise, it was phone calls and notes. It does not work. All these changes are happening inside Airtel because now there is an internal team across growth, that is business, product, and engineering, looking at these metrics every day. Every day they wake up and say, is my work efficient? Are my people more efficient in delivering value to the customer? If not, what else do I need to build? This culture cannot be outsourced. And that is the biggest learning, Danish. That culture cannot be outsourced. I can never call a vendor and say, make sure my workforce is more efficient. They will ask me for a project. And by the time they finish the project, my metric may have changed, the life may have changed for everybody. We cannot have outsourced people driving innovation for a company. They can do a project for you. So all the core components that we believe is essential for the success of Airtel is being insourced. It is being run by our teams. Any capability that is non-core, we are still working with our great partners to get that developed for us. That's the way we are operating today. And the entire new business division, which is including Airtel Ads, Airtel IQ, our Wink and Extreme division, all of that is also additional assets we have developed through this in-house teams that we have got now at Airtel. So hopefully that gives you a sense of what's happening.
Sure. Is there any area which appears exciting to you, and we could expect Airtel venturing into that through on its own, or through partnerships?
Danish, this is my favorite topic. It's almost like somebody put me in a little toy store and I'm a kid. So areas that are interesting are like every toy you can find in the toy store, because there's so many interesting areas. I mean, the other day I was just having a conversation with the network team. Diesel is interesting to me. And you know why I say diesel is interesting to me? The amount of diesel we burn is insane for running all the towers across the country. If I can just make that renewable energy, what a impact on climate and what a savings on cost structures, right? So are there interesting areas? Everywhere around us. In fact, the last company I used to work for was Convoy. It is a unicorn that only did trucking marketplace, ability to connect a load to a truck. You know, Airtel is one of the largest companies that moves products on trucks, because we have to build towers, move towers, whatnot. Just that can be a new business for us to start, because the demand Airtel generates. So are there interesting areas? Way too many. Now, how do we make sure with the resources that we have, we stay focused? That goes back to what I said before. What are the things we should build? It is our right to build. And there, Airtel IQ is a phenomenally interesting area. Airtel Ads is such a driver of growth for us. And the entertainment business is something we'll continue to invest in. It's a lot of fun. What else is coming? Some of which I can't share, but the things that are coming: security, cloud, IoT, these are all announced. And then there are some very exciting businesses we have not announced yet that's coming. I want to take the example of Airtel IQ just to tell you how much power is in these products. Think about Airtel IQ, a suite to make businesses make their customer experience better. We started out with voice and SMS. How do you let a Swiggy connect the call between the rider to the restaurant more efficient? Use Airtel IQ's voice suite. Same thing for SMS. In SMS today, there's a large problem in the market, right? And that problem, Danish, is around how secure are the SMSs that's going out. Let's say a bank is interacting with you, the bank balance is coming on the SMS. Is that SMS secure? Or is somebody reading it? And if they're reading it, it's your personal bank data. That's at risk. How about making the whole SMS secure? That is something we are thinking about deeply in Airtel IQ. And I think that's going to make a big benefit to privacy in the country. So that is the SMS product. Video. Apollo Hospitals today is investing deeply on video calls so that people don't have to come into hospitals. There is full requirement for video platforms to support building those products. Again, video is a core part of IQ. How many people are doing chatbots today because they want to make customer experience more efficient? We have IQ bots as a core product area inside the platform to help young startups and big companies build bots. All these are just innovations in one suite. So to your question, I think it is just excitement all around. Sure. Our job is to stay focused and build a few things there.
Okay, but has the pandemic made you rethink some of your businesses, or forced you to enter some of the areas? Because one, there is a genuine demand, genuine need on some fronts, and for Airtel, there is a genuine business potential as well. So has the pandemic altered or helped you rethink your product strategy?
Two parts. One, good news was when we started the digital strategy 3 to 4 years ago, see, the whole philosophy was how do we move things more efficient and how do we move things more online? So that started 4 years ago. We laid out a vision, right? Everybody has been working on that vision. So when the pandemic hit, and this was a very interesting conversation we had inside when Gopal asked all of us, like, so what do you have to do differently for basically, embracing the pandemic and helping our consumers? And my only answer was more of what we do today. Everything that is in our vision and our strategy, just accelerate the roadmaps, right? So let me give you an example of what I mean by accelerating your roadmaps. We had made a bet that payments have to go fully online. Why? Because why should people go walk up to people and, try to pay? Only if it's cash. Keep it alive, because some parts of India needs to still pay through cash. Rest of it, there's no need. So we have a very, very big payments roadmap around taking people online. What happened during the pandemic is paying online became the requirement of the hour to keep your services on, right? What did we do? We introduced a new program called Airtel Superheroes. Today, using the same payment stack, if a consumer does not know how to use it, your friend can use it on your behalf and recharge for you. So we did minor innovations to basically help the consumer go digital faster. That we did. Our entire call center, which because people couldn't go to call centers because there was a moratorium on being out, we made the call centers go remote. So now you can run your call center from within your house. Pharmacies were being opened. So we ran a Mitra technology, which was basically helping collect offline payments. We ran it through the pharmacies so that now people can go to the pharmacies that are open and then pay for your telco services. So we innovated within reason to help our consumers, but our strategy has not changed. Our vision and strategy has continued in the same direction.
Sure. Airtel has been making small investments in startups to build a bouquet of digital services. So how is that helping Bharti Airtel build that digital business or digital services to consumers? So what sort of value do you see in making those startups flourish and bring that offering to your customers in the country?
That's again, by the way, I'm loving this interview because all these questions are personal favorites. So when you think about our startup accelerator place, it came with a very simple part of our vision. Our vision has core, which is our core business, platforms, which I explained to you, new businesses, things that we will build. And the last circle is partnerships. And Airtel is very good at interacting with very large companies, whether it be an Apollo or a Pepsi, even some of the larger startups like Vedantu. We have partnerships with all these big companies, right? But when it comes to startups, there has to be a very different mindset when you work with them. You cannot go them with a commercial construct and saying, young startup, put millions of dollars and let's go work together. It doesn't work. Where do they have the budgets to go do this? Second, if you look at the Indian startup ecosystem, while lately there has been so much interest in many companies, when you look at the youngest startups, there is still so much guidance missing to the CEOs on how do you grow your business. Let's say they get a 500,000 check to get started, right? Dollars check. Most of that money goes to Google and Facebook for customer acquisition. Now, Airtel's question was, can we build a program where we can help the startups? Let's take that good social cost first. Can we help the startups go from 0 to 1? That's a larger question. Meanwhile, the startup benefits and Airtel also benefits. So that this is not a one-time thing. We can continue. So Airtel Accelerator today has 6 companies, and there is another probably 10 more companies that we are analyzing to see if they can enter. And what we do for them is simple. We take a stake in them and we grow them from where they are to their next raise, Series A. And we commit partnering with them operationally to make this win happen, which the startups really appreciate, right? Now, what we also try to make sure is, of course, we help them get customers, all that stuff. We see if the startup's product can actually help one of Airtel's own strategy. And when you look at it from that perspective, VoiceZ, that was a speech analytics company that we inserted into our experience center to make our agent quality better. So the startup helped us, we helped the startup, and now they've got a thriving business in many parts of India. So this synergy of we can grow you, but can you help us make some of our products better is also a key thought process in how we partner with the startups.
Sure. Which are the areas where you think there are new startups which could help some of your businesses? Are you exploring, as you mentioned, you're exploring those startups? Which are those verticals where those startups are operating?
In the if you look at our product strategy, there is massive investment, as you know, in 5G networks. There's a massive investment in entertainment because we've got a DTH live TV business and the music and video business offline. So this entertainment unit, core network innovation, including 5G. 3, when you look at customer experience innovation, because Airtel wants to be the best customer experience team in India, so much young startups can help us there by bringing their technologies and driving change. So that customer experience construct. Advertising and marketing, technologies that allow us to basically serve our customers better by targeting the information correctly. Those are also startups we are very interested in, right? Finally, when you go to B2B, areas like IoT, areas like cloud, security, communications, all these areas are fair game for our startups to work with us. And because we are making investments in those fields, we believe we can help startups in these areas thrive. So that would be the high-level buckets.
Sure. How do you ensure that people know what Airtel is doing in the digital space? Because their entry is just the mobile phone and data and voice primarily. But now you are building so much. How do you ensure that customers get to know that Airtel is present in that area? We should try out those services. Do you think that some work needs to be done, or already customers are getting aware what Airtel is up to in terms of building those digital services?
So there are 2 parts to it. There is consumer and then there is business customers, right? and the approach has to be very different. So one thing we try to do, Danish, is we always try to make sure that we talk to folks like you when we are ready. And what do I mean by that? Our DNA is we don't talk before it's ready. If it's not in market, if it's not doing well, we don't want to bring it to you because then it's very theoretical. So most of the information we bring to you is when we have achieved some scale. At least we have, let us say, 1 million customers on that product. Or if it's B2B, we have made at least 10, 15 crores of revenue. Then we'll bring it to you saying this is real and we are very joyous to announce it with you, and then we scale. So our ability to work with the press is one very important part of this conversation, right? And I think, are we doing it well? Probably a lot of room to do better. A lot more engagement required with likes of you. So that is one very important aspect to the communication. Second, in B2C, we have a phenomenal marketing team. The marketing team advertises certain products. So we always make sure that when some products is at some relative scale, the marketing team does a TV ad, they do their marketing programs. We also have a team called the growth team that sits in digital. Their job is on our 340 million base, they can use own base marketing techniques to remind them there are services. One example of that is when we partnered with HDFC on a life insurance plan. That plan was a prepaid plan. It was inserted into our product suite, and our own base was told consistently that this plan exists and you can buy it for your life insurance cover. This probably is the biggest lever we use today because our own base, our cost is low, and we're very efficient in telling our customers the product is available. So if you come to our Thanks app, you come to our store, you come to our Kirana stores, there will be messaging around these new products available there. And that's what we are doing for B2C. On B2B, it's a very different play. We may come to you and tell you Airtel IQ is launched, but after that, the entire job is to go direct to businesses. And as you know, our B2B business has 2,000 enterprise customers and 1 million SMBs. So those channels are already there. We go through those channels and tell the customers what we have, and we do business.
Any last concluding comments, any area which I may not have touched upon, or I may have missed while asking, and you would like to highlight on those areas?
At this time, no, Danish. Your questions are very comprehensive. I really appreciate it. And I had a lot of fun just answering them. So thank you for that.
Thank you. On that note, let's conclude this chat. Thank you very much, Adarsh, for agreeing to do this. And I think we had a very good conversation. Thank you very much.
My pleasure, Danish.